Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to the village board meeting, 7 o'clock, Monday, October 10th, 2022. We all please silence our cell phones. Roll call of officers.
We have Pete Anzia, Sam Guy, Don Gotcher, Chris Clear, Joe Sowers, and Dan Moore.
Open meeting law compliance check.
Yes, we are compliant.
We all please stand for a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Any public input? If not, we'll move on to the Belgium Area Chamber of Commerce report.
Yeah, Tara couldn't be here, so she just gave me a few items to share that they're planning the Celebrate Belgium water dinner. That's November 9th at Memories. And the European Christmas parade is coming up on Sunday, December 4th. And then also the chamber is working on they're creating like chamber bucks, chamber dollars, so that they're going to offer like gift certificates to local businesses that you can purchase, like dollars that can be used at local participating businesses.
Good. Okay. Then we'll move on to 7A, the village marshal report.
Okay. It was a pretty quiet month. I had one complaint of a dog pooping in another guy's yard. We got that one straightened out, and there was an issue out at a dog park where some guy was out there, somebody called and complained he was soliciting for dog training and stuff. Somebody didn't like that he was out there doing that, so I had a talk with him, and he will not do that no more. And that was about it for a month. My phone did not ring for the whole month, which is pretty nice.
Joy.
Yeah. And also, as of this coming Wednesday, about 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll be gone until the following Monday. So if I get any calls, I'll just have my wife forward them to you.
Oh, excellent. I might have time.
So I just want to let you know I'll be out of town for.
Okay. Anybody have anything else for Leon? No issues with UTVs, ATVs, mini bikes?
No, I just had a couple of cars I had a tag just here the other day. I tagged those, so.
When does the winter parking start?
November 15th. And the first 2 weeks I give out warning, unless there's snow coming or something, then they'll start getting tickets. But usually the first 2 weeks I just hand out warning. I think last year, the first day I gave out like 96 warning. And the next day it was just down to like 10. So you got to re-educate the people.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on to 8A through 8F. Make a motion to approve these items.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on that? Okay, then we'll move on to unfinished business. We have a presentation from Ben McKay from SEW RPC via Zoom. Hello, Ben.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. I think we're going to talk a little bit about a few of the options for updating comprehensive plans the Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, or SEWRPAC, provides. I think you were provided with a brief handout prior to your meeting, or maybe even prior to last month's meeting, that sort of describes these options. So I can go through those options with you, including costs and why some of our other communities have chosen the various options. And if you like, I don't know how many people in the room are familiar with how the original plan was put together, but I can start with describing that process to you as well, if that would be helpful.
Yes, that'd be very helpful to start from the beginning, I guess.
Okay, sounds good. So the original plan, the first edition that I believe you guys are still using, it has a design year of 2035, was put together as part of the Ozaki County multi-jurisdictional comprehensive planning process. That included, of course, Ozaki County, which developed a county-wide plan, as well as almost every other community, city, village, and town within the county working together to develop local plans in a variety of ways. One of the methods used was, in addition to the county plan that was developed at the county level, a template was developed based on the county plan for local governments to use. And that is what the Village of Belgium did. So PAC staff, it was myself actually, met with the Plan Commission. Actually, we did one chapter a month, as I recall, and went through the template that had goals, objectives, policies, and programs and other information. And basically, we just went through a chapter a month and struck things that the village did not want and added things that were missing that the village needed. So as a result, it's a lengthy document, as you're aware, and a lot of the mapping and data is done actually at a county-wide basis, then with references to the village, because we use that template. So that's kind of the backstory on the year 2035 plan, I believe the village is still using. So that brings us to today. So the comprehensive planning law, as you're probably aware, does require updates to be done to comprehensive plans. Should be done about once every 10 years. So certainly the village is ready for an update, and Sewer PAC is providing assistance to cities, villages, and towns and counties in the region. Again, to do these updates, we did assist many of our local governments across the 7-county region with developing their original plans. So with that background, I think I'm going to take a look at the brief handout that you should have, options for updating the comprehensive plan. I can just give you a little bit of background on why some communities choose one of the 4 options, or something even in between. And maybe before I get into that, one thing I would note too is that as part of the comprehensive planning process, there's a requirement for what's called a public participation plan, which the village did adopt one. Again, it was based on one done for the county, probably way back in about 2004, 2005. Sewer PAC has adopted a model that's a little bit more streamlined that communities can adopt that relate to just doing plan updates. So that's something to consider at a future meeting as well. And staff can contact me and I can provide information about that. So looking at the 4 options, beginning with option number 1, we did provide model or sample resolutions for communities where perhaps they're not experiencing many changes over the last 10 years. Their comprehensive plans are still working well for them. They haven't had any map amendments, for like a single development or anything like that. Their background data hasn't changed much. So we do provide a sample resolution that a village board can adopt, saying they've reviewed their current comprehensive plan and don't believe any changes are needed. So that's one option. And of course, there's no cost to that. We just provide you with a sample resolution. Option number 2 has been popular with many of the communities throughout the region that we have assisted. So here is really focusing on updating the land use plan map in your report, which is kind of one of the key visualizations of the plan and very important for establishing consistency between zoning decisions and land division decisions, which are required to be consistent with your comprehensive plan by the state comprehensive planning law. So that comes with a map update. You get a new display map, as well as there's a brief report that also includes your land use category descriptions, which are straightforward. They just describe what's consistent and allowable with your land use categories on your map. And we do any updates to the category text that might be necessary because it changes over the last 10 years or so. That is called an option 2 report, and there's a cost of between $1,000 and $2,500 for doing those reports, depending on usually how many mapping changes we need to make and how extensive those are. A third option that also several of our communities have chose is to do more of an update where we look at some of the, not only the land use plan map and the land use category descriptions, but also some of the kind of most important basic comprehensive planning data that would be in your comprehensive plan, usually the data related to things like natural resource items, maybe other of the key planning data. So we provide that. Again, you get a report and a display map of your land use plan map for between $5,000 to $7,500 for local governments. And the final option is to fully update your existing comprehensive plan. So all the data that's included in it, and of course the land use plan map and other mapping. And there's a cost of that between $15,000 and $25,000, depending on how complex the individual project is. So again, a lot of our communities have focused on the more minor updates, but some things that the village board may want to think about as it's choosing whatever option it may want. If you would like a sewer pack to assist you, of course, you can always use a consultant or work in-house or whatever you would like to do. But we would certainly look at, particularly for the land use plan map, maybe updating things like the natural resources shown on that map. So there are some changes that have occurred over time to the environmental corridors and floodplains and wetlands that is currently on that map. And perhaps there's other changes that need to be made due to development over the last decade or so. I think I do see on your agenda that you have a discussion regarding maybe some upcoming park planning. So that's certainly something that could be considered when developing a comprehensive plan. We can put some of that information in the comprehensive plan, although the village may want a standalone park plan, as that's used for pretty specific purposes to determine future recreational and open space needs based on standards and analyses for the village, as well as having that park plan makes the village eligible for potential state and federal park related grants. And as well, you do have extensive amounts of goals, objectives, policies, and programs which are required for all the elements of a comprehensive plan in your existing plan. And one of the reasons they are so extensive is because of that process I talked about earlier, where essentially I sat down with the Plan Commission at the time, and we went through essentially everything that was included in that template based off the county plan, and the Plan Commission at the time either struck or added things as they see fit. So a little overview of the type of updates we can provide, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions for Ben? Looks like we're good.
Okay, I should note as well, we are assisting several communities right now. So if the village would want to request assistance, we could start work likely summer or late summer of 23. So it would take us a little time to get through some of our other projects before we could begin.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just have to decide which option we want to go with
First, right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We want to have more discussion on this tonight, or you want to wait till a later date?
I think we wait till
Wait for later date and decide which option we want to go with. And
Yeah, I'd like to read it more thoroughly, although just on my first blush of hearing what was presented, I'd be more inclined to think about the kind of mixture of the map and the data, the 5,000 to 7,000 without going
Right.
Yeah,
full tilt
option
boogie.
two.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other?
The village, just a piece of information, the village of Fredonia is in the process of doing this right now. I'm not sure if they went with SUPAC or not, I can find out, but they've started it, they're collecting data and they formed a committee. and so on, so.
Do you know which option they've chosen?
Yes, give it.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The village of Fredonia, I know, is redoing their comprehensive plan. Have they reached out to you or?
Yeah, they have, and they might even be doing the work in-house. I'm not exactly sure. And it's also something I should share with you. The village did reach out to us for some kind of basic census data and projection data that they needed for updating their comprehensive plan. And that's the type of information we can actually provide the village at no cost when it's particularly something that's, you know, just a publicly available source like census data. So that is what the village did. I'm not sure if they're using a consultant or doing it in-house, so.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other discussion on this? Okay. Then we'll move on. 9B, approve Park and Recreation Committee recommendation to not go forward with a separate public facilities needs assessment and to evaluate the public facilities needs with the overall comprehensive plan review plan for the village.
We just decided that we didn't need to spend the money on a comprehensive plan. We were gonna be doing the regular plan.
First of all, we don't have that many lots.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a couple
We
of
are
factors.
wasting
One,
money.
there's not that many new lots that have gone, and then the last study we did said we needed one, maybe one small park, and we have, if we want to do something, we have a lot available, a small lot available in the Ardennes. Put something on that's undeveloped, so. And have planning for it, so.
And we got all our projects done in the previous plan. For the last couple of them.
We own the land, so all we would need to do is put equipment.
That's the
I guess,
expensive part.
maybe-
Right.
maybe we have to put some tiling in there or something.
Oh, look at it.
Well, I make a motion that we approve Park and Recreation Committee's recommendation not to go forward with a separate public facilities need assessment and to evaluate the public facility needs with the overall comprehensive plan, review plan for the village.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Going to new business, 10A, approve certificate payment number 4 to Soper Sewer and Water LLC for the 2022 storm sewer and street reconstruction project for the amount of $964,722.49. Partial payment for work performed through September 23rd, 2022. Is there still one more payment, Danny?
Oh, there's probably a couple more pages.
Couple more payments?
Just to bring you up to speed, on Elm Street and Park Street and Commerce Street, all the asphalt is done and everything. We have some issues going on with the seeding and restoration. We had met with the guy from Soper and the guy from North Farms. We're doing the restoration. We got a plan while they have to take care of it, so. I mean, we're gonna eventually run all money back, you know, regardless, you know, before we close out the contract. So, I mean, now it's getting the time of year that it's pretty late to plant grass and everything. Problem we were having is they weren't backfilling right, using the right stuff. They had a lot of stones and everything in there. And then they used a different kind of straw, or it's called bean straw, to cover the grass that they planted. And they put that on way too thick, so. They're supposed to come back and take care of it. Kevin's coming down tomorrow to start, you know, looking at more at it, and then to go over the other streets too, so.
Is that the same company we had for Main Street?
Yeah, the North Farms, I think, or Silver Creek area. The stuff they planted, some areas already, I mean, some of the grass or the seeded in the ponds are growing. Some of the easements, they're growing, so.
Is mailboxes be going up pretty soon?
Well, that's another issue. Problem is, now Soper's out of town. They were supposed to, you know, well, I can step back here a little bit. We ran into a problem on North Street and Commerce and Elevator Lane and Liberty. The curbing was supposed to be poured a week ago, Monday, Tuesday, 2 weeks ago. And the plant got struck by lightning. So now the earliest they can pour curbing is gonna be next week.
we're gonna run into some issues here. So it's tentatively set up to pour concrete 17th and 18th on them streets. And then, to do the backfilling and, the pavement of the approaches, it's supposed to be done through the 19th to the 26th of July. And then blacktopping is supposed to, October. And
Boy, how
blacktopping
long
is
is this gonna
supposed to do at the end of October. Where we're running into issues is, we might be getting past October to do some blacktopping, and we might just do the first layer of asphalt due to the time. And Kevin and I were talking about dormant seeding stuff, so up in that area, so. Like I say, Kevin's coming down tomorrow, maybe he has more information. Problem is, they can't get concrete. There's a shortage of powder for the concrete mix. So,
How late in the year can you can you lay blacktop?
well, there's it's,
Temperature?
well, you can go probably someplace sometime in November. I mean, but they don't like to do that because, well, warranty and you use a different kind of mixture and everything for a cold mix. So, for cold weather blacktop mix.
So we might be better off waiting.
Well, we gotta get something in there because it's, I don't know, how we would plow it. I mean,
But doing one layer,
Well, one layer, be careful.
Right.
Yeah,
but one layer will be okay to get you through winter, right?
yeah, well, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
We don't wanna do that.
Right,
We wanna get it all done.
right, but if worse comes to
Like I
worse,
say, we'll find out more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be all ramped. So, I mean,
Hopefully,
when we put subdivisions in there, we left them go for a year before we put the final lift on to it. It's not.
Okay.
that we've done it.
right,
hopefully we can get it done so people on North Street are a little happier.
Well, right, I mean, but there's nothing the village can do. I mean.
yeah, it's not our,
If
yeah.
that doesn't get struck by lightning, there'd be asphalt there. So it's,
Great,
So now they should be building up on their supplies, huh?
well, it should.
And all things considered, Soper's not like subcontracting out anything or.
Well, see, with the
Going-
permit, they had that subcontractor to come in and do it. Well, they had them 2 days to do it, was first week in October. And well, that didn't happen because that plant got struck that Sunday night, so
oh,
they had to pull out, and then Martell's gonna do it now. They're first be available.
Okay,
okay,
so that is a subcontractor.
Yeah, it's been a fiasco.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
So. They
Okay.
say it'll be a couple more payments, and like I say, we'll hold the retainage fee back.
Anything else for Danny on this, on the road construction? Okay,
need a motion?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve certificate payment number 4 to Soper Sewer and Water LLC for the 2022 storm sewer and street reconstruction project for the amount of $964,722.49. Partial payment for work performed through September 23rd, 2022.
I'll second that.
motions are made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Go on to 10B, approve appointment of village trustees to serve on the joint EMS committee. So my idea on this here committee would be Chris Clear, Rose Sauer, and alternate Dan Wolf.
Okay,
So I know that Sarah had interest, so was she already, someone talked to her about it or?
Well, she's got also interest in the fire department, so
you're thinking that that's not the
Conflict.
best.
I don't know. You're the money man, Chris, so.
I'm fine with it. I just want to make sure because the last time we. talked
Well,
about it,
that was my bad for
She was pretty
suggesting.
excited about doing it, so.
No, I've also talked to her. I think she's okay about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. I'll approve, make a motion to approve the trustees or the appointment to village trustees to serve on the joint EMS committee. Can I do that?
Can you restate them?
As, you want me to restate the trustees?
Yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the appointment of the village trustees to serve on the joint EMS committee as Rose Sauer, Chris Clear, and then the alternate Dan Wolf.
Motions are made and seconded.
So just to
clarify, board members are always welcome at any committee meeting of the village. It's just those members would be the ones that are paid for attending.
And get to vote, right?
And they get to vote,
Okay.
yes.
The rest of us can go, but we can just listen. So,
Okay.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approved bid proposal for upgraded water meter reading system. Danny?
Well, our software program for our meters are switching to a different, what is it?
Yeah, right now we use Census Logic. They are weaning that out. Basically, they're not going to be supporting it going forward. And so we have to switch to something called Census Analytics, which is a different program. And if we don't have that, we can't pull our meter readings over. So they haven't given us a set deadline, but, you know, in my opinion, you know, we had a problem in June. And basically they told us at that time, had we been on analytics, we would have had less problem trying to restore everything when we got our connection back. So, you know, I guess I think that it would be sooner rather than later that we do this. Our fees, annual hosting fees are not really changing. They are staying the same. We just have to pay this one-time fee to upgrade, which is, I believe, $7,500.
Yeah.
And our fund balance is in,
Mhm.
I mean, we can afford that
Right.
now. It is water and sewer that it would come out of, not general fund.
But this
So
is
their fund balance.
This has got to be done.
It has to be done. It either has to be done now, fund balance here, or budgeted for next year. We don't-
And let's go work with all that equipment we rent at tab.
Right, we don't have to change anything. This is a, it's like a web hosted environment program. It's not actually on our computers.
Is there a contract for so many years or?
It's just an annual fee every year. I think the annual fee is like 18,000, 18,500. Might go up a little bit every year, but
Yeah, they do have an agreement they want us to complete with this upgrade. I haven't read it in great detail, but again, if we want to read our meters, we have to agree.
that helps everybody out in the whole village, because we can pick, you know, leaks up if there's a toilet leaking, and if they're using a lot of water, versus years ago, you waited until you got a quarter.
Yep.
And then people get excited.
Pat, was that watching?
Huh?
Pat watches that?
Yeah, every day we get a print out if there's a problem there, so. And then we hang notes on the door, and 95% of the time the people do it, or, you know,
Or didn't even know.
well, they didn't know until we put a note on the door, and then they take care of the problem. Some leaves it go for another couple times, and we put another, you know.
Mhm.
Well, I make a motion to approve the bid proposal for upgraded water meter reading system.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Review and approve cost increase of materials for masonry work for community park project.
So what that's about is, we took that existing building down in the concession stand, and now if we want to go with colored block, I mean, there's an additional charge with that. I think you guys got a copy of the increase.
I emailed it today.
It's $7,100. I mean, it's almost the same color as the one at Heritage Park, a little darker.
Okay.
I think, you know, to go with that would look a lot better than just natural gray block
Mhm.
in the park.
Make it look a lot prettier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you said it was 7,100?
yeah, 71.25, I think.
And for what we're spending on the project.
Exactly.
And like I'm meeting with the Lions, the second Thursday in November. And I know they said they might want to contribute something, so.
And we have a meeting with Mike Unzi at the end of the month.
Yeah.
What is the final total now? What's the total at right now, I should say? I mean, I know where we started. But then we had.
5:30, there's a lot of stuff.
But that's all because we decided to.
Right.
Change.
I thought it was 5:40 and we.
I mean, I just mean for the masonry, just the masonry.
Oh,
Let's see.
How much was the,
Original was 196,500.
Again, 13,000.
September change order, 13,860. And then this one is 7,125.
which is a total of 217,485 for masonry. I would have to, I do have all of this calculated somewhere. I don't know exactly where my spreadsheet is right now. But I believe we're still, well, we're definitely still under 600,000. I think we're at like 560, 570. This, and that's without any, donations yet.
Right.
We've already had some. I believe we're gonna get more. We also have the $17,000 in, impact fees that we can use for this for 21, something.
so we already had a donation from Kohler Company for the fixtures?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was what, 7,000?
12,000.
So,
Yeah, I mean, if you go buy it, but it was like 12,000, the village would have went through our, dealer would have been 7, so.
Okay,
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the cost increase for materials for the masonry work for the community park project.
Second.
motions are made and seconded. Any other questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Just remembered something.
Yes,
Wasn't there something that you were going to try to look at as far as getting a grant? And you had talked to me about the Lions interested.
Well, yeah, so one of the things that we were looking at as a potential option is the Bruce Creer Foundation does do grants. But they do it only for nonprofits. And they had something listed saying they have a matching grant available. I don't know if it was unclear whether we would qualify. I believe Tara was going to possibly reach out to John Russell and see if we worked with something like the Lions, if that matching grant option would be potential.
Tara and I looked at it more closely. The guidelines we really.
Doesn't fit in.
Yeah, it was.
Type of.
Yeah.
Things that they would.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that they would not perhaps be open to talking to us. Again, I think Tara was possibly going to reach out to them. If not, I would recommend that somebody maybe do talk to them. I mean, they are a very philanthropic organization. They do help a lot of groups, so maybe they would consider something.
okay, thank you. Now the village board like to convene the closed session. For the purpose of village employees. We need to,
I move that we go into closed session at 7:33 PM.
I'll second it.
motions are made second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Do we need to poll for this or not?
Yeah.
Russ hours high.
Don, on the closed session? Yep, aye.
Aye.
Okay, it should be recording. And then it might be telling us.
She didn't say anything.
Okay, we're gonna be back in the open session at 7:57 PM. Okay, decision was made. Hourly employees will get $1.25 an hour raise. And salary will get $5,520 a raise. and the village marshal gets $250. So. That's where we are.
So
Yeah.
I assume you're going to, somebody should make that as a motion in a second and vote then.
I mean, we did that already, but we can do it again.
You probably did it in closed session,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's not on record, so.
Oh. So do it again. Do it again, boy. There we go.
I make the motion to approve a $1.25 hourly increase and a 55-20 for salary
And 250 for.
and $250 for the village marshal.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Motion passes. Okay,
I think we're done, right?
guessing-
Oh, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Wow.
motions are made to adjourn and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.